Quite similarly to a recent Elite Barbs video, today I'm going to be taking you through how on earth you counter one of Clash Royale's most hated cards, the Hog Rider. Let's start in the air with a few swarms, bats and minion horde. Air swarms are decent counters because they're difficult to take down with support units, but they are hella suspect to spells. Snowballs will easily take out bats and arrows will easily take out minions, so they're not really the most reliable. Onto another type of swarm, and we face a similar story with things like Skarmy and gangs. Both will do a great job against the Hog Rider alone, but their resistance to spells is almost zero. Zaps will be able to take out the Skarmies, and Logs will be able to take out the Goblin gangs. More spell resistant swarms like Barbarians or Guards are available, however these will still die to Fireball and Poison respectively. So with all of these spell issues, you might be thinking to just use something like a Mega Minion or Inferno Dragon to take out a Hog, right? Well, that's not too great. Both will survive spells, but don't have amazing initial damage output, so the speed of the Hog will allow him to get damage through anyways. Cards with better initial damage, such as Mini P.E.K.K.A. or Hunter, will do better. They both survive fireballs, but their slow attack speed means that a knockback or a stun effect will make their mission a whole lot more difficult. These type of movement effects will also interrupt the Hog Rider a bunch too. Electro Wizard and Ram Rider are prime examples of this. Neither do great damage, but their effect on the Hog Rider's pacey travel speed means that his strongest asset is halted, making these to a semi-effective counter. Without having a direct movement effect, Rascals and Bowler are two more great counters to Hog Rider. One will block his path to the tower, and the other will push him away with massive boulders. I'm sure you can guess which is which. Either way, these two make good counters because they are able to disrupt the Hog's movement speed once more, but for a little bit more elixir. And for a bit more elixir than those two, you could spend on a P.E.K.K.A. or a Mega Knight to do your dirty work. Both cards are able to prevent the Hog Rider from all damage with quick reactions, but usually will just allow one hit in if you're not fast enough. You then get a 7 elixir counter push, which I'm sure nobody will complain about. Now, we've talked about all of these great counters without mentioning a single building. Starting off with my favourite building, Tornado is the single best counter to a Hog Rider deck. It's barely counterable because it's a spell itself, and it will activate the King Tower for you, making future defenses easier. Cannon and Tombstone are also up there with great counters, both getting positive trades, but really buildings in general are the weakness to any Hog push. If you need a surefire way to counter a Hog, buildings are your best bet. Gob Cage, Furnace, Tesla, Bomb Tower and Mortar all get even trades, and a lot of these will still be alive for defending afterwards too. Buildings truly are the single best way to get rid of those pesky Hog Riders. All of the more expensive buildings will counter Hogs as well, but these are obviously for negative trades. There's only one building that fails to counter a Hog Rider, and that's the Elixir Collector. Alright, so I'm recording this bit like in the future. As you're about to see in this clip, Elixir Collector actually can counter the Hog Rider, which I was somewhat unaware of. If you get the perfect timing and placement down, then I guess it's a counter, but then you're losing 2 elixir and a potential 4 from what the collector actually gains. So it's probably not actually the best thing to do, but just as a side note, I guess it does counter it if you really need it to. If you can incorporate any of the mentioned cards into your deck, I think you'll be mighty fine against countering the Hog Rider. It's a card very commonly seen on ladder, so I would suggest checking out my previous Elite Barbs video in order to see which cards overlap with both of them, so you can just use the one card as a safety net against both terrors on ladder. Overall, I think Hog Rider is actually fine. I use 2.6 in my ladder series currently, and sometimes I tend to struggle, especially against decks that contain buildings. This video was really just to showcase which cards you should include if you're struggling against Hog Rider, and I hope that was useful to just a few of you out there. If it was at all useful, be sure to hit that subscribe button and whatnot. These videos take a lot longer to produce than like the 3 or so minutes of content that come out of it. Anyway boys, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and peace.